Welcome to Odd Jobs. Today we're in the kitchen. We're making bread. Stick around. So over the years, we've had 4 different types of bread makers. But this one recipe that I'm going to share with you works on every bread maker we've had. Well, we're using Black & Decker. This is a really good, reliable machine. But it's got a longer cycle than, let's say, the Frigidaire would have, or some of the other ones. But that's okay. Set your bread maker at whatever the fastest time to make bread is for a white bread or a pastry or whatever. And it doesn't matter if it's 1 rise or 2 rises, it won't matter. This has worked beautifully for us for years and years. So I'm going to start off with 1.5 teaspoon of machine yeast. I'm going to pour in just over a cup of warm water, not hot water, but warm water. I put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. And well, this is a one cup measuring cup. I just go up to the rim. Who knows how much that is. Add water more or less depending on how moist you want your bread. So this is going to sit for 10 minutes, and it's just going to it's just going to be milky white, and that's okay. You give it a stir if you need to. Usually just pouring in the water was enough to mix it up like that. So that's going to sit for 10 minutes. Okay, while we're waiting for this, we're measuring out our ingredients. I took the time and melted 2 tablespoons of butter. And in another container, I'm going to add salt. And the salt, we've experimented with it over time. I put in a 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm using kosher salt, but if you're using like iodized table salt, use less because it's more salty, but go with your taste. We started off originally with 1/2 teaspoon, and then we just kept adding it until we got to the point that we like the taste of it, right? So that's the salt. And then we add sugar. Sugar is, again, like to your taste. For a while we were using no sugar, which was okay. But it helps a bit with the rising of the yeast and the taste. Just taste a little bit of the sugar. We put 1 teaspoon of sugar in there. So when your 10 minutes is up, you can come back here. What do we have? We have the sugar and the salt, the butter. We need a bit of olive oil too. We're going to get this ready to go. I'm going to set, at this point, I'm going to set my my machine to the setting that I set it at. I set it at this one here, which I don't even remember what it is. But I'm saying to you, the best setting to use is the setting with the shortest amount of time. So on this one here, it's going to do 2 rises, 2 rests, and a bake, and 2 tumbles, 2 mix, whatever it is. Every machine that I've had, the ingredients do not change. So 2 tablespoons of butter go into this. 1, 2. Now here's the trick. I've got some left over. I'm going to pour that in, and at this point I'm going to just carry on with the oil. So I'm going to add the oil to the remaining butter. It's 3 tablespoons now, 4 tablespoons altogether. So the recipe was saying 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of oil. So long as I have 4 tablespoons all in, I'm happy. I've gone with 1 tablespoon of butter and 3 of oil, and it's good. And I've done 3 tablespoons, even 4 tablespoons of butter, and it makes no difference to how it bakes. Next we have white flour, cheap white flour. 3 cups of this. throwing in my salt and my sugar. Start. And I'll see you in, probably 3 hours. So I know the beater just went. We're gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. I don't want it to get too cool, but I don't want to pull it out hot either. And I'll explain that when we pull it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I've let it cool down for a few minutes there. Use your own at discretion. If you take it out too soon, all of the inside of the bread sticks to the paddle that mixes it. If you take it out too late, it cools down. The bread doesn't become crusty because the condensation rests on the crust and it stays soft. So it's still hot, still pretty hot. So grab a cloth, out it comes. See, it's got sometimes if you put, I noticed with me, if I don't put enough water, put too much water, this is what happens. The rising isn't nice and uniform. But it kind of looks like an ogre's face, but that's okay. That's all right. We're gonna pop it out like that. And see what I mean? It's pulled some of the inside out and it's stuck on the paddle. Should have really let it cool a few more minutes. But this is going to be a good tasting bread. I'm going to let that cool down. Wow. And that's it. And that's my recipe. Down in the description, you'll have the full recipe down there. Please copy, paste, do whatever. Share this video with somebody who has a bread maker and never uses it. This is great. Thanks for watching Odd Jobs.